Okay, welcome back to Champion Football. Big week ahead. We spoke about, we had what, midweek games?
Round 19, NPL
round 19, round 18. We had a lot of shocks. Chaz, myself, Gary, and joined with a cracking guest today, Roy Donovan.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
Fresh off the back
on, mate.
Two goals last night?
No, just the one, an assist as well though.
Assist, first goal's assist.
That's a rarity for me.
Timakovsky's got an assist for you.
He gave me a nice assist last night, yeah, it was nice. It was nice. The lads put him under a bit of pressure and gave me a little running and goal. Yeah, that's it, mate.
So what's been happening? How's your long weekend? Any's? Both of you?
Quiet, mate. Football, family.
When was your game at the weekend?
We played on Sunday against Sydney United.
So you
so that we got a bit of confidence from that. Played some good stuff last night, but yeah, long weekend, family, football, the usual.
Did you go back to Newcastle at the weekend?
Yeah. I try and get back to Newcastle after every game and training session. I stayed down last night because it was a late finish.
Of course.
And got to enjoy it with the president last night and chat about the game in a positive way and come see you fine fellows today. So.
Fine fellows.
There we are.
I take that.
What did you do at the weekend?
I played on Saturday night, and then we went to Margaret in Double Bay.
Right, okay.
Who's in the recently the
Can't hide wealth, man.
The top 100 stakes in the world. It was number 3.
Was it?
Aye. So we went there and
Was it good?
That was nice. It wasn't amazing. Like I mean, if I
you used the top 2 button usually.
That's it. Normally I can. Emma treats me with the number 1 and 2 normally, but I was alright. It was nice to go out, and then went to the pub after. It was captain at NSW Luke Buck. It was his birthday, so all the boys were out.
Yeah, Jason Reno, Christmas Day.
A few boys were out. Aye, throwing them under the bunch. I wasn't going to say any names there, man.
Well,
how was yours?
I mean, it's alright, started football. What did I do actually? Sunday, I was coaching me on Sunday actually.
Oh, aye.
Nah, not much mate, my life's quiet now, I've got a baby on the way, so I'm just being sensible.
Any good Serbian scran?
Nah, I didn't go out Serbian way.
Oh, okay. Serbian way.
Nah, I was just local. Just I went to a hotel in Alexandria, I live in Alexandria, and I say a hotel, whatever, and a Sydney hotel. It's really a pub. Can't get a room, you can get a pint.
Yeah.
So I went there, just opened, and it was $45 for one meal. $45 for pub food. I mean, it was nice. But for a pub scran, you're expecting $15-20 bucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely
conned, man.
And that's without a drink?
And that was a meal. It was $42 for one, and it was $32 for the other. So they're talking $78, but I got a pint, so it was like
it's $100.
These are in the big boxes. You see.
I was crying fucking to
Alexandria. There you go.
You'd have been as well going to Double Bay.
It was top 3 pints in the world of that. Okay, anyway, we've got a shit ton to get through. We'll start with the weekend games. Obviously a lot of big results, I suppose shocks you'd call them.
Aye.
We'll start with the Olympic, which wasn't really a shock to be fair, but interesting.
That was a shock.
Do you think so?
Aye, just because I think that you have been, let's say, underperforming on getting results.
Sydney United as well though.
But they were on a higher trajectory than Olympic have been in terms
Olympic, it was good to have you on because just last week, if you've been listening, we were all actually curious of just what's going on at Olympics. Is your team's very good on paper, and we know you're all good players, so just be keen to get your insight. Even good turning point for you, especially after midweek result as well.
Absolutely. I mean, you both kind of nailed it there. We've got good players on paper, but football is not played on paper, unfortunately. So it's taken us a long time to kind of gel and get our rhythm. And you would have seen this. We passed the ball really well. We moved the ball really well. This season we've lacked a bit of nastiness at both ends of the pitch for me. We haven't been ruthless. An example being the cup game against you guys. In the first half, we scored 1-0 up, but we never put the game to bed, and we kept you in the game. And you punished us, and that's been the story of our season. So at the last couple of weeks, we played a higher line. We've been nastier. We've been more aggressive, and then our football can shine. And the last couple of games, we've got the rewards that we've earned because it doesn't matter how good you are. You still got to work, you still got to be nasty, and you still got to do the hard yards, and you get rewarded in the end for that.
With the game against United, how was the mood of the camp getting into the game? Because obviously you haven't been on a bit of a bad run.
That's it, yeah. It's been a very stressful, frustrating time, but the dressing room is good. We've got a good bunch of boys.
Good experience in there
that's
as well.
it. I mean, like you're moving into the national and second division next year. We've got a lot of boys that have come out of the A-League academies. They're not necessarily needing to win games. It's not the end of the world if you don't win games in an academy structure. It's about your individual development. When you come to Sydney Olympic, Marconi, Sydney United, you're expected to win.
Yeah, of course.
So they're learning that. They're learning that the hard way, that teams like Spirit, teams that are hungrier than you, St. George recently as well, they will put you to bed because they want to win games. They need to get the money, they need to get the bonus, they need to win football games. So we're learning the hard way, and it'll, in the long run, I think we'll benefit from it. I think 80% of that squad should be there next year. They're a good age.
Yep.
They've got a good ability level. They need to just learn to be nasty, ruthless, and learn how to win.
That average age will come down if you leave, eh?
It will come down massively, and I will be leaving as well.
This is your last year.
This is my last year at Sydney Olympic. I want to go out hopefully on a high. It's been terrific. I didn't expect to stay this long, but I have enjoyed it. But this will be, I'll be stepping away at the end of the season as a player, and hopefully there's plenty of players within that dressing room, or if they want to go and sign someone to replace me. But I'm happy with. Hopefully by the end of the season I'll be happy with my lot.
That's a wee exclusive there.
There you go. There you go.
Wow, mate! I didn't expect that, to be honest with you.
There you go.
You didn't want to announce it last night because then the president would have had him.
That's it. Exactly. I needed somewhere to stay as well.
Okay, cool. So big result for Olympic. Back on track again. We can go on to the midweek games, but obviously.
Question before you go on. Sorry, did you foul Kalic?
What's that?
The keeper? Did you?
I think it's one of them. You sometimes expect a free kick to be given if you go anywhere near the goalkeeper in general.
The soft those keepers, man.
But to be honest with you, they had a defender on me and the goalkeeper, so they need to do.
It looked, because that's what I'm asking. It looked like there was a defender in between. There was more defenders around the keeper.
Yeah, I think they got each other's way a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
And I just capitalised in the end. Once the ball hits the net, I'm not thinking anymore about it. But it's probably good learning for those two boys as well. Of course. Maybe the goalkeeper doesn't need a man there. Maybe he can just take me out himself. So.
Did Kalic have a good game against you?
He made some decent saves in the game, actually. To be quite honest, he made some good saves. Sammy McElhatton had a really good. I actually was almost celebrating it. He made a good save, but it's one of those. Goalkeeper, you can be brilliant for 89 minutes, you make one mistake, it's forgotten about. Striker, you can be rubbish for 89 minutes and you score the winner and you're a hero. So that's
tough
the joys of it.
That's true, man.
Yeah.
Okay, well, cracking on, we'll look at what do you think the biggest upset was out of all because there was 3 probably big upsets.
I'd say
Apia beating off Manly?
Yeah, I'd say so. Either that or Sutherland.
I would say Sutherland Blacktown is probably a big result, that, wasn't it?
Nah.
So let's just look at the Sutherland Blacktown game. 2-0. It looked, to be fair, I don't know if I'm assuming none of us watched the full game.
Nah.
It looked like a deserved win.
Aye, they looked alright.
Had a few chances.
So did I didn't think that the keeper was overly busy.
Aye.
The Sutherland keeper, and
big win for Sutherland because that bottom back's tight.
So I'm saying, like you talk about shocks, you expect one maybe, but I don't know if Sydney FC winning is a shock as such. But them, Manly and Sutherland all picking up a win in the same weekend is a bit of a surprise.
I know, that's all the game came to us playing against Marconi.
Stressful.
Like, we need to win this game. I was snookered. So I will. Blacktown, it was an interesting one because again you look at the night before, if you're Blacktown or Rockdale looking at Apia dropping points, you're thinking, right, smell a wee bit of blood here.
Aye.
And then it made an arse it. So anyway, that's football in it. And then we look at what was the game after that? The Apia Manly game. Apia peppered Manly.
I know, the keeper.
Manly keeper was very good.
Brilliant.
That's what I was saying about Kalic, because Kalic got team of the week.
Right.
But I thought the Manly keeper looked very, very good. I thought it was harsh not to get in that team of the week. But Apia deserves probably to win the game. But
on the balance of chances, when you've seen the highlights, Apia definitely.
Cool, have you played it up in Manly yet this season?
Yeah, we played them earlier on and they gave us a good game. And to be fair to them, they play some nice football. They bopped the ball around. If I had probably a criticism of them that night, they never really hurt us in behind, threatened our back line, as in, making runs, pace, peppering us with shots, but they passed the ball ever so well.
They had 10 men against you, did they not?
They did, but they passed the ball ever so well.
Yeah.
They never ever went direct, you know what I mean? And really put us under pressure with the 10 men and try and force the issue that way, but you can see how they could hurt teams as well. Yeah. They've definitely got a bit of quality there.
Yeah, I think, man, a lot of young boys, Peter spoke about it in depth last week.
Aye, he did.
But it'll be a fight to see who stays up. I think Central Coast are they're giving a bit of a account of themselves, but I don't know, it will depend on it. We'll get on the A-League teams, but with the A-League players, the squads are changing with the A-League players dropping away. It's a tricky time for them. So we'll look at Rockdale, who did capitalise on the big results. Big win for them against Western Sydney Wanderers. Wanderers had 5 new players playing for them.
Yeah.
2-0 up. Did you see the highlights of that, both of you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, to be fair to Rockdale, solid outfit. They get the job done more often than not.
Yep.
I think it helps them that Wanderers did have that kind of shuffle of the pack.
Oh, of course.
You'd worry about Wanderers now, though, where they're going to go, because they just got a kind of a group from last year that had a few struggles last season, and they've made them into this kind of team of winners this year. And now 5 changes coming out. You wonder how that's going to affect the rest of their season.
And I think with the size of the players as well, it's not like it's just 5. It's a 5.
Hammond, Blair,
experience. It's hard.
They've luckily still got Eunice there, who scored 2 last night.
Yeah.
He looks like a right good player, but I think he's going to stay involved, which will help them. But I do agree, they might struggle to stay in that pack, especially if Sydney United, because they're starting to climb back in there. Blacktown City. Marconi, who knows that they've not obviously had two back-to-back losses, but I'll be surprised if Wanderers stay in that top 4.
Aye.
They've got 11 games left. I can see them sort of slipping down. But big win for Rockdale. It was a mental game. Do you see them? Jurasevski hits the bar for an open goal. I don't know how close he was to it. If he's overstretched or what, hits the bar, then they break up the other end, go 1-on-1.
Aye.
Try to dink the keeper, goes by the post. Mental game, man. And then the Rockdale goalkeeper. Did you see that? Rockdale goalkeeper.
Talk me through what happened there.
That your man was the ball. Is this the one the ball went to the channel?
So the ball goes out on the right hand side, and it gets crossed in, and the boy takes a touch in his chest.
And then the ice cream van comes, I think, and then the goalkeeper just fucks off.
Right. Okay. One of them. Okay.
The goalkeeper is obviously just lost his bearings, and he's outside his front post. So imagine this is the goal here, and the ball's here. The goalkeeper's here. And the back post is there.
Oh, no.
The guy just rolls out of the goal.
He just puts on the goal, man.
Easiest goal of his career. He's like, cheers, mate.
That's it.
Bizarre. But anyway, Rockdale, big win.
Good character in terms of Rockdale, obviously, they are an experienced side that do hingy, but to be 2-0 down, I think scoring just before half time is probably massive.
That is massive.
And then the 2 goals in the second half, it's a bit of a
Blake Rachuto header winner.
Winner.
You can't mention Sideshow Bob without mention a clown. Robbie Speranza came back with his ACL, so congratulations to him. I think he's been out for a year and a half or a year or something like that. So
good on him, yeah.
Have you had any big injuries?
No, touch wood. I've had a few injuries along the way. Double hernia surgery, a few ankle problems, a few injections here and there. Yeah, bones broke every bone, eye socket, nose, arm, legs.
Not any injuries, but
nothing that's actually nothing that slowed me down too much, thankfully. But nothing really that changed my career too much.
That's good, lucky.
Exactly.
Fair play, mate. We'll go on to that later on. But so Wolves, Wollongong Wolves, you did mention, Chaz, that they might start to come into a bit of form now. Wollongong Wolves, big win for them. Jake True got his first goal of the season. Fair play to him.
First goal of the season, yeah.
First goal of the season.
Surprising because he was electric last year. Big boy, physical, can run the channels. And the two of them together.
A good duo, aren't they?
I actually, it reminds me of British football, the way they play sometimes. They can get the ball at full back and just hit the front 2 and they'll play off.
Hard to play against, man.
Yeah, it's very hard to play because we're not used to over here. It's 4-3-3, knock the ball around into the 10, wingers go, but that tests you, something fierce.
It's not very often the 2 centre halves are getting occupied, so sometimes they don't know what to do. They're both getting marked, and that's very old British.
And those two are big boys. They can use their body as well.
Lucky Scott's tidy on the ball as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So good win for them. And then we're looking at who have we got. Hills beat Central Coast, obviously a bit down the bottom of the table. Spirit got a good one against Marconi. That was a
very good win for you guys.
Good win for us. Marconi obviously was disappointed with that, but it wasn't a great game. Very scrappy. A bit of a battle, to be honest with you. Yes, it's missed a big chance right before half time.
I saw that actually in the highlights.
Header, Jared Lum for us missed a big chance going through in the first half. First half was nothing really in it, to be fair. Maybe they just edged it a wee bit, and then second half we got the goal that we needed. We got both teams got a goal disallowed.
Yeah. You just edged it.
Just edged it.
A proper NPL game.
Just edged it. If they'd won 1-0, it was 0-0. It wasn't a great game of football for the neutral. But good win for us. Had to win for us. And Marconi are probably disappointed they didn't capitalise on everyone above them dropping points. Okay, had to battle through that because we've got another 75 games to go. Right, Chaz, you want to take us... No, in fact, let's do the midweek games.
Midweek games from last night.
So, maybe talk us through your game last night with Marconi, because that was a big game.
It was a big game. As I said, we turned the corner against Sydney United at the weekend. That was psychologically for us, just getting over the line, getting back on the winners chart was a big one. But last night, we kind of linked a lot of the stuff I spoke about together. So we passed the ball around really well, got some good players. We were aggressive. We were wanting to win the ball back and impose ourselves on the game. When our chances came along, we were ruthless. We took our chances and we kept a clean sheet. And we looked to control of the game as well. And it's taken us a while to get to that point this year, to be honest with you, because we had a really good pre-season, but for whatever reason, maybe just learning on the job, as I said, young players, maybe a couple of injuries and suspensions here and there, and then you know what it's like, you lose a few games, maybe confidence wanes a bit. But yeah, we're back feeling and looking good, and people are fighting to get back in the team now, which is where we need to be and where we want to be, and we want to make a real, push for this 6 now.
I was just going to say that, if you like, even us, I was saying this to Chaz last week, we had Sydney United last night, and we had a pretty poor start. But if we'd won last night, we'd have been 9 points off the top 6 with a game in hand against Sutherland, which we could have potentially won. And we were 6 points off the top 6. Then I looked at obviously Olympic and Wolves, and even though both of you have had a bit of a poor run, you only need like 3 or 4 games in the bounce, and you're starting to really go, we could actually get in this top 6 here. Because out with maybe Apia, Rockdale, or I'd probably say Blacktown, for me that's going to be the top 3, I think. Outside of that, everyone just seems to beat each other. Very unpredictable. So I think that's 2 big results for you. 2 out of the top 6 you just beat already.
But that's not been our problem. I think playing against the so-called bigger sides hasn't been our problem. It's our problem, as I said, is having that bit of nastiness and being able to play NPL football and match people. Because people come with physicality, people come with energy, people want to take a scalp. So we have to match that and then show our quality. You don't just turn up and play
100%.
beautiful football from minute 1 to minute 90. It does not work like that in any league, but especially the NPL.
No, good point. Well, good win. I thought probably from an Olympic standpoint, every single mistake that Marconi made, you seem to pounce on it. Because even there was a chance, I think I mentioned to you before off air, Chaz, that I think it was a centre half just takes a heavy touch and Pufflick goes through 1-on-1. Then I think you had one just shortly before that. Then obviously your goal, Timokovsky, puts you through. And then
I actually think that if you could have scored more, like 11 more goals, it could have been like 5 or 6.
Their keeper had a couple of saves last night. Hinton made a couple of saves last night. Our keeper made 1 or 2 from set pieces, but overall I don't think Marconi could argue with the result last night, and we're quite happy and comfortable that we're heading in the right direction now. Finally, the fans can see that we're turning good performances into results and all-round performances.
I actually think that it's the first time that you're watching the highlights where you have won a game and you look like we really deserve to win that.
Exactly.
That you were looking at the game before you maybe won, and it was like, it could have went either way, but last night was like, that's an Olympic side that deserved to win the game.
Well, you're at 8 points off the top 6 just now.
Which is
11 games to go.
Which is more than doable. And as you said, it's about finding some form and some consistency, which we haven't. We started the season, couple of losses. We beat Sydney United. We beat them 6-0. And you think, all right, well that's the turning point. And then we had another few weeks where we were bloody awful, to be quite honest. And then we found our feet again. But now, as I said, if we can link this good football with a ruthless streak, like we've had in the last couple of weeks, then we'll be alright.
Good. All the best. As long as you don't beat Spirit. Right, okay, so who else we got last night?
Sydney FC won to beat Hills 3-1, which is actually a big result at the bottom end of the table. Takes them out the bottom 2 and puts Sutherland in. Blacktown beat Manly 2-0. Western Sydney Wanderers lost 5-3 to Central Coast.
That was a cracking game, but highlights are brilliant.
The wee boy Priag, he was at Rydomere, so he's only I think 16, 17.
Oh really?
Wow.
He was involved in training last year when I was at Rydomere, and Central Coast signed him this year and they scored the 5th goal. Good finish.
Oh, that's right. I went mental when he celebrated.
So he's only a young boy, man.
And that's a good game for him as well, because as you said, with Wanderers with 5 changes, who maybe the guys coming aren't as physical as the team that they had. that was a really good game for it to come in, a proper football game.
100%.
Two teams that train 5 days a week, and good on. It was great to hear that.
The intensity when you play against the young A-League teams is non-stop, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking relentless, man.
Energy,
It's just, as you say, that bring the energy. They
and
never.
they press high, and they put you under pressure from the start, like, you know.
That's, you need to be on the ball against them, or they'll just run you into the ground, man.
Yeah.
Who else was last at Rockdale? Big win for them, stayed top of the league. Important, looked very comfortable, to be fair. It could have been way more than 4. The Apia St George game, that could have been 8-0 in 20 minutes.
Mate, the boy in goal wrote Jack Kenny was brilliant for St George, man.
Made some crank saves,
really good saves.
Good keeper, and he kicks the ball a mile as well.
Does he?
And honestly, if they're under pressure, he's solid, like. But he can honestly kick the ball from one end of the pitch, especially on their ground, which is a bit like. But he booms the ball. I haven't seen a keeper kick the ball like that in a long time. It just takes the pressure off.
Come and watch me training.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So St George, Apia, big win for them, obviously, after losing to Manly. It wasn't like they played badly against Manly from the looks of things, so I think that you're expecting them to come back and bounce back. St George got a red card, sort of. Couldn't really tell it was followed, like a lash out off the boss.
Oh, was it a lash out? Aye. It was quite bad.
I just seen his.
He's came in, he's volleyed him.
Oh, did he kick him?
He's kicked him. He's kind of. It started the upper body, and then the guy's got in front of him, and he just kicked him in the back of the legs.
Good chance you got.
That's it, man. Wolves 2-1, Jake True wonder strike.
Aye, crank goal.
That's it. It's floodgates.
3 goals. That's
3 goals.
Mate,
2
actually
games.
messaged on Instagram. They saying that's the floodgates open. She's just called me Roy Donovan.
To be fair to me, as I said to you, he should score a lot of goals with his physique, and especially even like set pieces and headers in the box. He's towers above people as well.
Very athletic. He's very athletic. So good on him. 3 goals in 2 games for him. Maybe he'll find a bit of a form as well. Sydney United beat us 3-0. Spirit, we were absolutely terrible. Yeah, disappointing. We've won 7. We'd won 7 out of the last 8 games, including the cup. So we're on a bit of a run, playing decent football, to be fair, most games. But we just didn't turn up. Sydney United didn't have to do a ton to beat us, to be fair. They deserved the victory. Carlos de la Varela scored a cracking free kick. Did you see that? Top bin. There's nothing else I can really say about it.
He's a decent player.
He's a good player. He was good last night.
He makes that kick, doesn't he?
Very tidy. Finds like pockets of space, and you can't really get him if he's facing goal. He loves a strike. Scored a cracker against Wolves last week as well, I believe. But yeah, good win for them, because they've been a funny side, because they've had their results are up. They found a bit of football. Didn't start well. Found a bit of form. Dipped off the last few weeks, but they're only a point behind Marconi. 4 off Wanderers, and it feels like Wanderers have been winning all.
It's crazy. It's a crazy league, though.
It's a mental league, man.
It's a mad league.
So they'll still fancy themselves to climb up that table. I mean, they're 7 points off Apia. I can't see them making that up, but they'll still fancy themselves getting that top 3, top 4. Only 4 points off Blacktown, who are sitting 3rd. Looks like a Rockdale Apia shoot for the final to win it, doesn't it? We'll see. Oh, he's keeping his class close to his chest there, unbelievable. Okay, anything else we've missed there?
Nah, NPL 2.
NPL 2, Chaz, you take us through that.
Hakoah beat MacArthur Rams 3-2. The winner coming in the 95th minute for Hakoah.
95th minute?
A habit of scoring 94, 95, 96 minutes. Rydomere drew 1 each for the Berries. They were reduced to 10 men in the 6th minute.
Rydomere, 6 minutes, last enough?
Nah. Last man tackled though in the 6th minute. Berries went 1-0 up, and Isaac Cunningham equalised early in the second half.
He seems to have had an alright season, doesn't he?
He seems to be doing alright, scoring goals for a change. Northern Tigers beat us 1-0 at North Turramurra. They were better than us in the first half, comfortably better. We were better in the second half. I think if the game had ended up a draw, it would have been alright, fair result. But in saying that, maybe they deserve to win. That's horrible. It's horrible.
Have you all played NPL 2 now?
No,
against NPL 2
we played Tigers in pre-season at their place. Yeah,
it's horrible, man. It's just so open. It's just nothing for miles.
I reckon it's not great in the winter as well when that wind kicks up there.
Goalkeeper just standing there.
That's
it. We get a man sent off as well for a second yellow card. Well, this is actually an interesting one. So we talk about the referees, right? So our player was at Tigers last year, I think, or 2 years ago, and one of their players just went down, and he said, "Their player, get the fuck up." The referees gave him a second yellow. He said, "Don't talk to me like that."
So what, he was talking to the player?
He said to the player, "Get the fuck up." You know, the referees turned around and just literally, she yelled him for the foul that the player was on the ground for, and then he turned around and shouted at the player, and she just came back round with another yellow and sent him off.
Oh,
it's like, no, man. I know.
Take your medicine on that one.
That's it. Chris Payne goal in the first minute.
Glass in the past there.
Chris Payne's a good player, man. So Bankstown beat SD Raiders 1-0.
How has he went this? I know he's scored here and there, but he's not been that
easy double figures. I'm not sure of exactly.
Has he? Well, I seen last night actually Jack O'Brien's on 16 goals.
16.
How many have you scored?
Yeah, I'm on
12
now, I think.
12.
Yeah.
Have you got like a wee target for yourself each for this?
Yeah, I want to score as many as I can, really. Yeah.
Goal a game?
You're always kind of trying to go. Yeah, I would. Looking at our squad, the way pre-season went, I would have been hoping to be at least 15 at the moment. But it's one of them. Just take the chances as they come along and be a bit more ruthless.
Aye, of course.
Dunbar. They lost 4-1 to the
lost last night as well.
I know, and the Nepean beat them 4-0. It's a big result.
So that's Dunbar rock bottom, innit?
Rock bottom, aye. Nepean 3 points above them. 94th minute equaliser for Bonnyrigg against Spartans. They drew 1 each. Mount drew it 1 again, beat Dully 3-1. Andre Martin scored a hat-trick.
That's right, you said that. They're 5 points ahead of Bills, but
Bills got a game in hand, and the Nepean and Inter was postponed. Still for the pitch. NPL 3 quickly. Gravel Rage beat Fraser Park 5-2. Tommy scored twice and Todorowski scored.
Joe again.
Inner West Hawks beat Gladesville Ride Magic 5-1. Hurstville 4-2.
That was funny. Connor, I text Connor because he's like, Connor texted
early, yeah.
He messaged me saying, I just listened to your podcast, fucking giving me stick saying, Connor really called Bankstown United shite, boys, and bag 2, didn't I? And I was giving it a stick. I was like, mate, you can't call the team shite and celebrate you scored 2 goals. You said they were shite. But fair play, he turned up when he said he would, so he went for 2 big result. Backed himself.
Newcastle Jets beat Prospect 6-0.
It's good.
And Mounties beat Hawkesbury 4-0. And UK scored a hat-trick in that game. That top of that table is quite tight now as well, NPL 3.
How's that? I've not seen that.
So Jets are 5 points clear, but Mounties have got a game in hand.
Right, okay.
So obviously win that 2 points and they play each other.
Bankstown not far off though, are they?
No, not at all, mate. They've got, so if they 4 point gap if they beat, who are they playing in the catch up game? Gladesville. So you'd expect them to beat Gladesville.
Right, they bottom. No, Sydney Union.
Sydney Union bottom, actually 1 point less. So Mounties win that, then it's looking at these two, they play each other. I think that it's the 28th. I was talking to Ali, he said it's the 28th that they play at Mounties.
Jets.
Aye.
Well, you've got to, next year you could potentially have Jets, depending on how MacArthur go, Jets, Bulls, and potentially 1 or 2
and Sydney FC
on NPL 2.
Well, yeah, and to be honest with you, I do believe that the likes of the Jets and the Mariners and all these teams should be up in the higher ranks as well.
So they are, yeah.
I don't agree. Like Jets came in at NPL 3 or lower, wasn't it? Like ridiculous stuff because they're coming in to try and develop talent. If they're going in too low, you're not developing talent.
Nah,
by the time they get to NPL 2, that wave of players is gone, you know. Yeah. So I just don't. I think that's a silly rule that they've had to wait so long. But the likes of MacArthur, Newcastle, the Jets, Wanderers, all these NPL 2 and 1 pushing, you know, and sometimes the relegation and finding out the hard way.
It's good for you, 100%.
You don't get the consequence in A-League. There's no relegation there.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
It's good to know. Football needs to have consequences. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Okay, well, was that all the games wrapped up?
I've wrapped up. Top goal scorers: Mitchell Cross 21 goals. Andre Martins 19 and Euro 18.
Is that updated, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, Mitch Cross still on top there, eh? Okay, perfect. Okay, so just quick thank you to Beard Sports for always backing us. They'll be backing us hopefully for the Champagne Fives coming up again in October.
You playing?
I'll let you know. I'll be busy.
So I think we've got 17 teams expressed interest so far in the last, was that 7 days?
Yeah, that's that. Nice.
So again, we've only got 18 spaces for teams, otherwise it'll be absolute chaos. Obviously not every team who expresses interest is going to register because you need to get your squad together and all the rest of it, so make sure you put your team in, but the first 18 names down is the first people we'll contact, and if they all register, then that's it, full. So make sure you get your team in as quickly as you possibly can. You only need one player from your team to register, and you can be the team captain, and then we can get in touch with you and sort things out from there. But October, got plenty of things planned. Got some big names, big people involved in NPL, outside of NPL, to make it as fun a day as possible, bring all the players together, have a bit of a laugh, get some prizes, bit of scran, and then if he's kicking about after it, have a few drinks. So Champion 5's in October, and Roy will be there to sign some autographs. Okay, well, speaking of Roy, let's get cracking on with your career, mate. We've got about eight pages of A4 paper.
Yeah. In a long time.
Chaz, you want to lead the way?
Mate, just start at the beginning. Obviously, you're born in Ireland.
Yeah, born in Cork, in the deep south of Ireland, hence the accent. And yeah, mate, football has been all I know from a young age, playing on the streets, and there was no such thing as one-to-one coaching other than your dad, and you train with your team on a Tuesday night, and you might play on a Saturday. Training was, they put 2 bags down for the goals, you do a couple of laps and you have a game of football. So the way coaching has come on, the way, I don't know, the way the world has changed as well. Kids aren't always outside anymore like we would have been. Growing up, kicking the ball, having 15-a-side games with everyone on the estate.
You're going to bad mood and take the ball home.
Happy days, and you had to be tough when you were a little kid as well, by the way.
That's true.
But yeah, so football has been my passion. Scoring goals, that's what got me into it. I was quick, believe it or not. I was very quick.
You're still pretty sharp.
I'm sharp, probably over 5 metres, but I was a winger. When I went into professional football, I kind of got my break as a winger for a lot of my career. So I spent a lot of my career in England and Ireland playing on the right wing, the graveyard shift, and setting people up a lot more than I would have liked. But yeah, as I said, love scoring goals, still love scoring goals, still love playing football, love being part of a team, and finding solutions to problems like we've had recently and not getting results.
You a winger on a 4-4-2?
Yeah.
So
Old fashioned 4-4-2, basically like a second fullback, depending on how lazy my right back was. Get in, you're back there by the goalkeeper before you know it. But yeah, so 2001-2, I went over to Coventry when I was 15, left home, left school, left all my family and friends, and I'm still going now, playing football for a living. Very blessed to do so. What year are we in? 2024.
That's us.
I'm 39 coming up, so I'm very, very proud that I've been able to push it this long, and I still have a drive and an ambition to help a team and score goals like it was always at the start.
I know you've got a coaching academy, haven't you?
Yeah.
Have you any aspirations to coach men's football or women's football?
Yeah, maybe. Look, I had I done my UEFA A licence a couple of years ago. I've got a real passion for helping kids get better. I like kids. I like giving them confidence. I like giving them little strategies to get better. As Chaz knows, we're starting to enter a lot of tournaments with a 7-a-side, 8-a-side down in Sydney. We host our own tournaments, and I love seeing the kids grow and get better. Regards men's football, I suppose at some point that will maybe become an ambition. At the moment, because I'm playing and I'm coaching and I'm doing TV stuff, I don't have that drive just yet to go and run a club. I don't think I have the experience and the nous. I have my badges, I have experience in football, but I'd like to do it the right way and work with kids and work my way up.
I was just going to say that, I remember listening to Wayne Rooney recently, and he was quite good because he was talking about, he said, people always say to me, like, you're Wayne Rooney coaching, blah blah blah, and he goes, but I'm not Wayne Rooney in the coaching world. He's like, I'm a beginner. He's like, okay, I was an elite football player. He's like, I'm not an elite coach because I played elite football. He's like, I need to go back to the start and do it properly and work my way up and earn the right to be that professional coach. 100% he's right.
That's right, because I think you can get by with experience and you can skip a lot of the rungs on the ladder if you've got a good CV and a good name. But when times get tough, you ain't got no managerial or coaching experience to lean on, and it can be a lonely job. And I see, I've worked with some great managers over my time, and Labby now is a terrific coach. He's 38 years old. He's got all this energy, ambition, and drive, and you see him. He puts his heart and soul into it. He's washing the shirts. He's coaching, kicking every ball on the sideline. You hear him, you see him. And when we're going through a difficult spell, I see, the challenge that creates. So, do I want that yet? No. But will I at some point? Yeah, possibly. But give me a couple of years to just unwind and unpack my career a little bit.
Well, talk about unpacking your career. So you started at Cork City, is that right?
Yeah. Well, I started at Coventry in the U team, but as a first team player, Cork City, who was my local club, I went back home.
So, sorry, you went to Coventry, was it like a trial? Or did
I signed. I signed a pro contract there.
YTS?
I was a YTS until I was 17, and I had a 3-year pro contract there. And I left there when I was 18. Yeah, 18.
Was Dan Huckerby there?
He would have, just before that time, he would have been a first team player before that. So when I went there, it was like Craig Bellamy and John Hartson and
not bad.
Hadji and Cheapo.
They played in your team?
They were that was the first team.
That was the first team.
I was only 15. I trained with them once or twice. Actually, funny story. We were training and I wasn't the kids were they kind of go to school twice a week or whatever, and this particular Wednesday they were down a man. The first team were down a man. I wasn't at school. I was just there sitting in the lodge polishing boots. And I got called up to play in the 7-a-side. So Gordon Strachan was the manager, and as I just said, Hadji, Cheapo, Hartson, Bellamy, like Gary Breen, big stars at the time.
Massive, eh?
And like first ball comes to me, I'm drifted out to the wing, and I didn't get a growth spurt till I was 16, 17. John Hartson comes to close me down, I put it through his leg. No, I didn't call it, but there was I definitely felt eyes on me after that, so I kept my beak clean, but I equipped myself quite well, so that gave me plenty of confidence. And he was good as gold. He came into the boot room after training and he was like, did you enjoy that, wee man? And he was good as goal. He didn't hold it again. He didn't pin me against the wall or anything. So that was nice. He was a tough cookie. Like
he was part of the. Was he not part of the crazy gang in Wimbledon?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was a terrific goal scorer. He went to Celtic, done really well up there.
Yeah, his goal against Liverpool.
That's right.
Yeah.
UEFA Cup man.
Yeah. Brilliant player. Played for Arsenal as well. He was. Didn't look like the modern day footballer. Boy, could he score a goal, and he could rough a few defenders up as well.
Absolute unit, man. He was very good.
Yeah.
Handful for defenders for sure.
So you were there, went back to Cork.
I was there, yeah. So I didn't break into the first team. Left and got an opportunity to go back to Cork City, who at the time were riding a wave of, they'd been in European football. They had some wins the year before in the UEFA Cup. Kevin Doyle and Shane Long were there. They were getting noticed from Reading. Eventually they went to cross-border. So I went in, tried, got a contract, ended up playing that season on the right wing, and it was brilliant. Some of my fondest memories in football come from that period. Just learning from experienced senior players. Like it was tough. It was like they weren't wrapping you in cotton wool. Like you made a mistake, you knew about it. You were learning. You know what I mean? Managers having a go, you listen, you shut up. You know, and I learned the hard work comes down to hard work. No matter what you want to do, I might have fancied myself as a goal scorer and a striker, but you play in that right wing, you better work for the team. You've got a job to do defensively, and when you get that ball in attacking areas, service these two boys in the box. That's your job. And it was brilliant for me. It was brilliant, and it went really well. We had some great European runs. We won the league with Cork City. We got Champions League qualifiers. UEFA Cup every year, played Red Star Belgrade, Slavia Prague.
I actually wrote that here, Red Star Belgrade. Atmosphere-wise, did you go to Red Star?
Yeah, we went and played over there. So
how was that?
It was brilliant. It was brilliant because we were it was like the equivalent of financially where the NPL is at now. I wouldn't even say it was A-League, because A-League there's monies, there's budgets, there's TV deals. It was we were just a couple we pros that had decent CVs, guys that had played in the UK and guys that had done the non-league circuit in the UK, and we had a mixed bag, but we had a good side when we had young players like myself coming through as well. But we went to Red Star Belgrade, and it was the shame we had a couple of players sent off. We got through against a team from Cyprus. I want to say Limassol, but I can't remember exactly. I could be wrong there. But we beat the team, but we had a couple of sendings off. So we went to Red Star weekend, so 30,000 mad Serbians there, and it's one of these stadiums where you come out of the dressing room and it's 60-metre walk down through this narrow tunnel and Serbian police all the way down with batons.
Is that right?
So it was one of them. If you're winning at half time, you're in a bit of trouble. Luckily, we were never in the game anyway, so I think we got beat 3-0 comfortably over the two legs. But yeah, we played them. Slavia Prague. We had some good wins against Malmo in Sweden, Djurgårdens in Sweden. Wow. I think before I came, they had some good results against Nantes in France. So yeah, it was, as I said, the standard was really good. At that time, the League of Ireland, there was lots of players, the likes of Wes Houlihan, Kevin Doyle, David Myler, Darren Murphy, lots of players.
So what's that, early 2000s?
That would have been 2005 when I went back to 2007. And a lot of players went on to play for Ireland, played overseas, and Seamus Coleman, another one. So just, great times, real huge learning experiences. I learned more playing for Cork City in that short spell than I ever could have learned in an academy. You know, academies you learn about technique, you learn about, but you don't learn what it takes to be a professional footballer.
Smarts.
Yeah, and how hard it is to have a career in the game that lasts longer than that. It takes a lot, and it was.
Because you need to be a certain type of person to withstand what it is, because the environment of that is not
cutthroat.
100%.
It's cutthroat. It's ruthless. People are always looking for your spot. They're always looking for an advantage. And not only do you got to beat the opposition, you got to make sure you're one of the strongest ones, performance-wise, in the dressing room. That when questions are being asked, you're able to kind of stand up to the arguments. So it was a huge learning for me, and it went really well. Then eventually I got pushed up front, started scoring goals, and I was 20, 21, scoring goals, and if anyone's scoring goals, all of a sudden scouts start to flock towards that. Yeah. As I said, I had a bit of pace, I could score a goal, and I had a couple of Premiership clubs showing interest. So.
Yeah, so I saw that earlier, it was Sunderland and Fulham.
Yeah.
Why Sunderland?
Yeah, well, Roy Keane being the manager, and he's from the same place as me. He's from literally 5 minutes north side of Cork City, which is a rough, tough, working class area. Best people in the world, but you don't get anything easy. Look, Fulham was set in stone. It was a good deal for Cork City. They were getting a good transfer fee. They were going to have me loaned back, because we had a European run as well, and we were in the running for leagues and cups as well. But Sunderland wanted me right away. They just got promoted to the Premier League. Once I met Roy Keane, my mind was made up. He was my hero growing up. He spoke really well. I loved his energy. I loved his vision.
How did you meet him?
I met him in Cork, so he came over. I met him in Jory's Hotel in the middle of Cork City, and it was my first time ever meeting him. It's funny, we're from 5 minutes away from each other, but I'd never don't know anyone, relate to him or anything. It's funny, in such a small place. But he was brilliant, and he said, look, you come, you work hard, I'll give you a chance. You do right by me, I'll do right by you. And he was good as gold. He gave me plenty of opportunities to play in the Premier League. The level as well. I was playing with great footballers in the League of Ireland, but the pace of football in the Premier League was... I was a fit boy, I was quick, but everyone was quick.
Yeah.
I was playing against like John Terry and Rio Ferdinand, and they were quick. So like, where's my advantage here, you know? Like, do you know what I mean? So like, my advantage was being able to be a defender off the shoulder and being a half-decent finisher, whereas these guys were just as quick as you. So now you'd have to start getting better technically. You got to start dropping into areas that
they don't want
I've never seen before. What's this pocket of space here? You know, so yeah, it was tough. It took me a good few months to grasp the level. Training every day, Roy Keane wanted basically match tempo. It was like, for an hour and a half on the pitch, it was a game. It was we had 25 or 26 first team players. And it was you're fighting for your shirt every single week, every single session, every single moment. But great learner for me, and to play at that level at any time in your career is obviously a very proud moment, and I'm very proud of it. But just a bit frustrated I didn't get to play longer. I think by the back end of that season, I played a few games against Chelsea, and I came on against Liverpool and Arsenal, and I started to feel like, you know what, I could rise a bit more here. I went away in that off season and worked hard. After my first year in the Premier League, I played, I think, 18, 19, 20 games including cups. And I was thinking, right, next year, make or break now, this is a big one for me. And there was an opportunity to go on loan, and Roy wanted me to go on loan. And by the time I went on loan and came back, he had lost his job, and time moves on. So it's one of those. But I would have liked a second year to kind of really put the learnings into practice. But
it's interesting the comment about the intensity and how every player has got that. I remember I think it was Djokovic talking about tennis, and he was like, somebody's like, oh, so what you need to practice on your backhand or something like that. He's like, he's like, every single person at this level has got a good backhand, they've all got a good forehand, they've all got this, they've all got this. He's like, the difference just becomes mentality, or for football more intelligence. He's like, that's the level at that point. Everyone's fit. He's like, if I'm not doing busting my arse in the gym, or busting my arse running, or busting my arse, or eating well, sleeping well, I'm falling behind without even touching all that stuff. He said, I needed to do all that stuff just to stay in the game, and then I can level up with the intelligence and a little bit of technique. It's a different level, isn't it?
It's
a different level.
Unbelievable. You're right. Everybody's, and we've all been there. You're putting 100% of your body, mind into it. But it becomes the strongest mentality wins in sport. I found that along the way. Every single player, coach goes through difficult periods where people are basically saying you're rubbish, you're no good, waste of time, move on, pack your bags, and the best ones are able to brush that off and come out the other side.
Just go again.
I think Harry Keane had a bad story like that. He got basically rubbished.
Well, he went to Norwich, Millwall, Leyton Orient, and he wasn't scoring many goals. And then he went back to Spurs, and he's electric. He kept working, but he was obviously solid in his mind. But Callum Wilson, another one at Newcastle, he went to Kettering. I think it was Tamworth on a couple of loans in the conference back in the day when he was at Coventry with me, and I don't think he scored a goal. But now he's a regular scorer. Double figures every year in the Premier League for Newcastle.
How many people would go to Kettering and not dummy spit? That's a lot of shite. Gaffer's an arsehole.
Well, yeah, but you still got to prove how good you are, and then when it doesn't go well, you feel the heat coming back. Onto the next one. Like he's not going to make it, but just shows you that mentality that you have to be strong.
Do you think that's something that's obviously like looking at that experience now, right? As you say, dummy spits when you get drop levels. Do you think that like let's say a 19, 20-year-old now, right, would be as open and accepting to being told you need to go there and learn your trade and approach it with the right attitude? Or do you think that kind of taking them away from the luxury of a Premiership or a Championship team and putting them down at that level, do you think it would almost be like, fuck this? Do you know what I mean? Like just attitude.
It's hard to say because it's going to be an individual.
100%, but I just feel that with the way football used to be, that people were, let's say, tougher mentally. I think you could probably.
It depends. I think it depends on. It's hard to say because we are in a different generation, right? But it's hard. It depends on what the environment you're in. Like Roy, you said when you're coming through Cork, that was some of your best learnings were because it was working hard is the fundamental to every single thing we do here. If you're shite, you're getting told you're shite. You didn't take it to heart. You just knew that just basically meant raise your game. And that was as simple as that. But very often now, if you say to someone they're shite, you're getting a letter after parents. Sorry, they're getting or the way the world is going now, and as we're saying, our backgrounds are a different time. You were told in a straight and certain manner. Straight's probably the best.
Now I think you kind of have to speak to people a different way.
And
that's not. And I'm finding out it's not so much that they don't care as much as you care. It's they process things and they do things in a different way, and you have to reframe the message the way you tell people things nowadays. I just think that's just a generational change.
I agree.
You can moan about the generational change back in our day. But it has changed. And that doesn't mean that they haven't got a strong mentality in different ways, but you just have to teach them in a different way. I find that with the young players now, there's a way to deliver the message that's going to have the same effect.
I think art of coaching is more important now than ever because I feel like back when I grew up anyway, that was like 90s. Every coach sort of had the same style. I was very direct, very loud, but I think now the art of coaching of how you deliver the message, the tone of voice, realise that I can maybe scream at you, but I can't scream at you. That's became more important than ever. And I speak to you, but it's a lot. I'm saying I've heard a lot of coaches say to me, "Oh, kids these days don't want it anymore." But I'm out coaching, say 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, all over Sydney at different parks. There's kids with bags of balls training. I'm like, these kids do want it. They do want it. They don't show it in the same way maybe you expect them to show it. But they're out with a bag of balls at 6 in the morning before school, crossing the ball, panging the ball. They need a bit of direction, they need a bit of guidance on what they should be doing, but they definitely want it. It's just need the right environment and that guidance. And I think that goes back to your initial point of how they'd react. Depends on their environment, on who's been teaching them or mentoring them or what guidance they've got. If they've always been told they're the best things in sliced bread and all the rest of it, then they get told that you're not playing, you're down here, they might have a dummy spit because they're not used to that. They've been mollycoddled.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I think it's very individual, mate. That's my take on it anyway.
Yeah, spot on.
You, in that time, around that time, international football as well for you?
Yeah, well, like I called up. Yeah, I was called up. Obviously, playing the Premier League at the time. I got a call up to play against. It was Serbia and Colombia. It would have been the squad I was selected for. But yeah, I ended up. I didn't get a cap for Trapattoni was the senior man at that time. But yeah, I was involved at every other level as well. 17s, 19s, 21s. The B internationals, which we probably class as a national kind of would be kind of a national based squad nowadays. You know what I mean? In Australian terms.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love playing for Ireland. Even up to when I came to Australia, I was still hopeful of when I was playing the A League that there would have been recognition there to be called up to play for Ireland when I was scoring goals and playing well, and you know I was a good age as well, like in my 30s, experienced. But I think there's a bit of, as you know, a bit of elitist attitudes in if you're not playing in the UK, you're not playing.
Yeah.
You know, it was different for Robbie Keane at that time. He's playing in LA Galaxy, but he's Robbie Keane. He's Robbie Keane. He's our all-time greatest goal scorer. It's different, you know, for players that aren't at that ilk, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I made the decision. I know I'm skipping over a few things. I made the decision when I come into my late 20s to play abroad. I always had this thing about playing either in the MLS or playing in Australia genuinely, and when the opportunity came up, I always wanted this, test myself at a football level, yes, but I want to have a lifestyle as well. I wanted to kind of make sure that I enjoy. I wasn't even playing in the Premier League. Football was great, but aside from that, did I enjoy living many of the places in England? Pretty grim. Yeah. You know, going on loan, like we're going to get to now. I went on loan to a few places up in Scotland, and apologise, boys, pretty bloody grim. Right? I enjoy cold weather as much as the next man, but that was ridiculous. Like I've never seen so much snow in all my life. But yeah, look, I think there's a place for enjoying your life as well. I think there's a thing in the UK and Ireland. You go abroad to play football, you're going on a holiday. I never felt like that. You know, I've had enough suspensions to prove I wasn't on a holiday. So you know, I cared. I wanted more. I pushed myself. I pushed the envelope. Definitely, I pushed it too far at times. But yeah, if I've got, I wouldn't say I have any regrets, but I would have loved to play in the Premier League for longer. Yeah. And I would have loved to play more games for my country. But
who's the best player in the Premier you played against?
That's a good question. Ronaldo was playing for Man United when I came on. We played them on Boxing Day one year. Remember that? We got hammered against Man United. Steven Gerrard was in his prime. Him and Fernando Torres were on a different level to each other. Yeah. I remember when I came on. I started a few games against Chelsea and Villa. John Terry was good.
Did you play against Ashley Cole?
I did. We would have been Aston Villa at that time, I think. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But I remember playing against Arsenal. Walcott was rapid. Just things that stick in my memory at the time. Liverpool obviously were.
Did you score in the Prem?
I didn't, and that again, that's one of those things that gives you a bit more credibility as well. Again, I only started 5 or 6 games, but you know, I think you know, one goes off your arse over the line. It's one of those. It gives maybe the manager a bit more.
Yeah, of course.
Credibility to stick with you for a bit longer. You know,
especially
what I mean?
when you're young. It's different if you've maybe scored some goals elsewhere. And
you know,
like
when you're coming from Ireland as well, it's like it's the elitist thing as well. 100%. He's coming from nowhere. He's like, you know, this is his first time kicking the ball here in the Premier League. It's never happened. Football has never happened before this one. But yeah, again, that would have probably given me a bit more kind of, I suppose, something to credibility of sticking with me for the second year rather than sending me on loan. But it's one of those, as I said, again, I learned a hell of a lot, played against some great. I remember coming on against United on the right wing, and like you talk about Wayne Rooney earlier, and like, you know, pretty big solid guy, like, you know, but he was playing left wing, I think, that day, or at that time anyway, he was going everywhere. And we lost the ball edge of the box, and I remember having to chase him back, and I'm thinking, I'll get him there, I'll get the ball. I mean, 70 metres I was chasing him, and he was still going, and I was quick. He was moving away from me like.
Do you know what? I heard that in a podcast last week.
Stick to football.
Was it? Someone was saying that he never get credit for how quick he was.
Deceptive, like, because the way he was built.
Someone said he was Michael Owen quick.
Yeah. That's exactly.
He was Michael Owen quick, but he didn't look like him.
Yeah, he was, because he was a solid unit as well. But yeah, it's just things like that. As I said, everyone was quick, everyone was technical, and the real elite they have that mentality as well. That again, maybe it's not natural. They learned it over time, but the best ones certainly are strongest in the head.
Yeah.
Class,
Mate, that's some careers.
So far.
Not even 10% yeah.
So obviously we're Celtic
It's all downhill
fans.
from here.
We're Celtic fans. Obviously you went up to Scotland and United.
I had a loan at Dundee United, which I didn't enjoy. Craig Levine was the manager there. I had a few options. I could have went to Leeds and Nottingham Forest, who were in the Championship at the time, and Craig Levine wanted me for forever, like since I was at Cork. He wanted me right through Sunderland. He was on the phone is available for loan every window, and I went up there and played a couple and we just didn't get on. To be looking at it now, and it's one of those. That's another thing I learned. Sometimes you get on with people, and if you get on with the manager and he likes you, you're all right, you know. And if you don't,
a bit of a funny character, but Craig Levine's not.
He was a bit obtuse, certainly with me, and he took me up wrong. I think he always maybe took me as maybe being very forward and you know, when he'd ask a question, has anyone got anything to say? No, about a game or form, not directly at him. It's one of those. He's asking you, but he's not asking you. He's he's asking the question, but he doesn't want the answer. So I learned the hard way. And I had a couple of loans. I was up Dundee United, then I went to Hibernian later on, and I was much more ready for Scottish football. At that time, was very direct.
Who's the Hibs gaffer?
Pat Fenlon. He was there for so I'd known him from Ireland. I'd played against his teams. But at that time, I don't think it's like that anymore. I think Scottish football now is like a lot of places. They play off in the back now, and you know the best team wins. But that time it was physical and big. You'd have target man up there at least, one striker, two, and you play off the big man. But I got better with my heading. Improved a hell of a lot playing in Scotland. Believe it or not, honestly, you just had to be competitive. I'm telling you, absolute bruisers playing behind you. But some good players at Hibs as well, with like Lee Griffiths and Gary O'Connor, who
good player.
He was a solid player as well and good striker.
Played in Russia.
Yeah, that's right. Made a lot of money in Russia. But a good story from Hibs was started myself and Lee Griffiths, Sparky I call him, playing up front against Hearts in the derby, big derby, Edinburgh derby, and the tactics on the Friday was right. They're two centre halves. They're not great in the ball, right? So you and Sparky, you sit off, let them have the ball. Their danger is the midfield and behind that the strikers, right?
Yeah.
No worries. So, famous last words. 5 minutes into the game, stand off him, centre half. The boy who went on to play for Wolves. He played for Wolves. He was captain of Hearts for ages. I forget his name now.
Stephen Presley?
No, younger than that.
Christophe Berra?
Yeah.
Christophe Berra, yeah.
So he comes out from the back and he's knocked a 70-yard diag over the top of our defence. Craig Beattie's taking it down, bang, goal. 5 minutes into the game plan out the window here. Right? So we've come in at half time and we've got absolutely peppered, me and Sparky. And what are you doing? Why are you standing off? I'm like, we just worked on it yesterday for 2 hours. Like. So on the Monday anyway, so that we lost the derby, so that lingered on to the Monday. And we've had, the old chat on the pitch, the circle up, like, get in, the coaches there, manager and the coach. And the manager was talking and he was kind of calm. He was after analysing the game and we done this well, we hadn't done that well. Then Billy Brown, who was the assistant, who was this old Scottish guy, cranky man, the best. If you won 3-0, he was cranky. But he laid into me a little bit and then he gave Sparky a bit. And for whatever reason, Sparky was ready, Sparky was ready to go. So they were swearing, it was just Scottish swear words I'd never heard before, going at each other. And Sparky then just grabs him. I swear now, this rotund, redhead Scottish man pulled his jumper over his head, trips him up, throws him on the floor. Never seen it before. Everyone just standing there watching him. No, this is on the pitch, on the field. There could have been cameras anywhere. And he just, it was madness. And then, he's throwing a few digs into him, and then, lads pull him off. What are you doing? And he just trudges off the training pitch. And I think he didn't drive as well. I was driving him home. And about an hour later, I got a text that, will you collect me from the bookies there in Tarney? It was madness, but good player on his day.
Lee Griffiths?
Yeah, wicked left foot. Yeah.
Bro, he had a good, probably 2 years at Celtic where he was him and Odds and Edward, obviously Crystal Palace.
They two
were absolutely brilliant. And in Scotland, he was
Scored
two goals
against England.
Two in England. And then he went to, who did he go to in Perth? Came to Australia, didn't he?
He played NPL here.
Did he? Yeah, a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Over in Perth, I don't think he was here. He scored like a few goals and
I read something saying he was back this year.
Oh really?
I didn't really look into it, but I saw something that was just popped up on Instagram.
He was a good player in his day, I'll tell you that.
Mad character.
Yeah.
He's not got like 26 kids or something as well.
Yeah, that's part of his issue, I think. Yeah.
Well, so you're...
Did you play Parkhead?
Did I? I don't know. I didn't. I remember being at Ibrox. I might have been suspended. That's a shock. I remember like me and John Daly walked into the box where we were going to watch the game, and they were like, "Oh, don't be giving me none of your rubbish now," kind of like, you know, like bit bitter like about the whole religious thing.
Surprise.
See what you give me play.
Just want to watch the game. Shut up. But yeah, no. Look, I think Scottish football was good. It was competitive. Played against some really good players up there, as you said, Celtic and Rangers. Always had some of the stars as well. You really weren't in a game. It's the two of them and the rest of the league, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, look, as I said, I had some good loans, some enjoyable spells, and certainly Hibs was a bit more enjoyable. We got to the Scottish Cup final that year against Hearts as well, and we got.
Did you start?
I didn't play that game at all, no, and we
5-1.
we were never in the contest. It was embarrassing.
Was that not a good Hearts side though? Like Paul Hartley and
Rudy Scaccio was there. Craig Beattie was there.
Stephen Elliott, yeah. They're pretty decent. Yeah.
So then from there you went to Blackpool?
Blackpool, yeah, in the Championship. They needed a right winger. I wanted away from Craig Levine at the time, and I went to Blackpool, played as a right wing, enjoyed it. We got some good results.
Don't say Holloway was your gaffer.
No, he wanted me to come back the following year, and I said no because I wanted to be a striker because they were playing me on the right wing. As I said, I went in, yes, I'll come in as a right winger, but then I kind of
get comfortable.
Then I was like, no, I'll play up front. But so I didn't go back, and then they got promoted the following year, so I probably should have went back. But I went in there. I got injured, but I was enjoying it. So we signed Charlie Adam, DJ Campbell, who was scoring a lot of goals at the time.
So did you play with Charlie Adam?
Yeah. Charlie and DJ Campbell came in, and myself in a similar period. And we finished that season strong, and as I said, the next year they got promoted. Yeah. But talking about injuries a while ago, I had appendicitis. We were playing Sheffield United one night, and I just was in a cold sweat here, and I'm asking the lads, is it a bit cold here? That's like, no, like, it's roasting hot, like, we're going up for a game, we're sweating. So I got rushed to hospital, had appendix surgery, and that kind of ended my time there. Yeah. Went back to Sunderland. Steve Bruce was the manager. He wasn't having me. As I said, manager, you're one of theirs, you're not. And so I had to find a new avenue. And
Coventry.
I went on loan to Hartlepool, scored some goals as a striker. I wanted to play as a striker, and then I signed for Coventry under Eddie Boothroyd. And probably I felt at the time there I didn't get a fair crack at it really. Eddie liked me. He did like me. He would have got game time, but he lost his job. He lost his job, kind of, that's it. We started the season really well, winning games. He couldn't get me in the team. I was coming off the bench here and there.
Was this League One or Championship?
Championship, yeah. And it was one of them. He didn't change his team anyway. Winning games, I didn't understand. I could understand it. I didn't have to be knocking on his door to say why he's not changing the team. They're winning, they're scoring goals. And then in the new year, we lost a bit of form, and games coming thick and fast. We lost 5 or 6 in a row, and Eddie lost his job kind of February, March time. And then, as I said, next manager comes in, got a bit more game time on Andy Thorne. It was funny, the club was going through a bit of transition as well, the new ownership and stuff. I remember one time there was a new chairman coming in, this consortium was taken over, and there was a new acting chairman or something, and he was coming in. He came into the dressing room one day, nobody knew kind of who he was, and about an hour before kick-off, and you know how managers are tense characters before the game anyway. Yeah. And this new acting chairman comes up to him and goes, well, I'm going to sit on the bench with you. I suppose I need full kit. And the manager kind of looks at him and, no. So he brought him on to the kit man. He goes, just get him a manager's jacket or something. So yeah, we end up like, can you imagine that now? Like this bloke had never kicked the ball in his life, sitting on the bench with a manager's jacket on, like, wanted to have his knees out, the whole lot, like, you know what I mean? So yeah, back to football. I got a bit more game time there, but it was never going to kind of work out. Mark Robbins came in at the end. He actually quite liked me, but it was kind of too far gone. I hadn't played enough games, and Eddie Boutroy then signed me back for Northampton, who were just down the road as well, and I finally got to play under Eddie properly.
Yeah.
But he was great. Eddie Boutroy was great, really good coach, really good with people, really thoughtful on the way he approached his coaching and the way he approached speaking to people. And sometimes he got this kind of reputation of playing long ball football, you know, 2 big strikers because of what he'd done at Watford in the Premier League. Yeah. But I liked him. He tried to change his style. We got to a playoff final with Northampton. That season I went there, myself and big Akinfenwa up front.
Did you play? What year was that?
Testing me now. 2013 maybe.
Sorry, that was. Who was Akinfenwa? Sorry,
yeah.
Who did you play against? Sorry.
Who did we play against in the final? We played against Bradford.
I think I went to that game.
Did you? Yeah.
One of my best mates was captain of Stevenage.
Yeah.
And he just knew a few boys about, and I was down in London.
And you went to Wembley to watch that?
I'm pretty sure I went to that game.
Yeah. We had a pretty decent side. We lost in that game, but Clark Carlisle at the back, who played with AD, Watford, Big Bayo up top, Clive Platt, another striker, was at Coventry with me, big target man. We had some good players, and we got to the playoff final. We were a bit unlucky against Bradford that day actually, but yeah, good again. Starting to come round again, back to the good times. I'm playing, you know, I'm getting to prove myself on. It's very hard coming off the bench sometimes to get any kind of traction. I always wanted to play games. I'm very eager, you know. I hate sitting on the bench watching football, getting 5 minutes token gesture here and there. I wanted to prove myself all the time, and Northampton was a good place for me to do that, and I enjoyed it. Second season then, a few injuries, a couple of operations later, AD gets the sack, and I get the opportunity to move to Brunei, which for the Sultan of Brunei's team. So
is that right?
It wasn't a career change I was looking at, but it was the middle of a season, as I said, a couple of operations. It was February, and their season was just starting. They were looking for a marquee player, and my mate.
Can you find one? So?
Yeah. they must have been down to the 8th page of this one. We'll have a look. And my mate, who I played with previously, George O'Callaghan, he said, "Look, there's an opportunity here for you. Would you take it?" I initially said no, but I came around to the idea, and best thing I ever did. Went over, got my body right, got fit, scored a load of goals, and it opened the door to come into Australia, which was a goal for me.
So how was it over there though?
It was good. It was decent standard. It was tough to play in the humidity. You play at 8 o'clock at night, and just different things like culturally, you know, they'd have their call to prayer. You're just finishing the warm up. You're doing a hamstring stretch, and the call to prayer will come on. So they're all like, they're all doing. And you're just kind of like stretching the quads out. But they're lovely people, very lovely people.
Where was that, sorry?
That was Brunei. Brunei is basically its own country in the middle of Malaysia.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah.
But I enjoyed it, scored goals there. I had a mate there, Joe Gamble, who had played for Ireland, and I played with him in England and Ireland. So it was nice. We had the families together, and it just made it more comfortable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it was very westernised. So it was great. They spoke English there. The climate was good. There was no alcohol there. Not a big drinker anyway, but they were probably thinking, this Irish bloke now coming in, he'll be gasping. I didn't care less, and it just again my career a kickstart, and it was basically it opened the door to come into the A-League, and it was something that I genuinely had watched. I liked the standard. I liked the idea of living in the sunshine and testing myself in a good standard of football. And as I said, I wasn't surprised when I came to Australia. I thought I still do a very good standard, the A-League. I think it's so underrated. I hate people's attitude to football, especially where we come from. This almost you go and play in Australia, it's a holiday. I'm telling you, it's a good standard of football. It's a reason not many NPL teams get a cup run. It's the reason when they come up against these A-League teams, there is a difference in the level.
What would you compare A-League to the levels in, just say, England?
Yeah, I suppose you're talking.
I know it's a bit of a mixed bag.
It is, and it's a bit of a mixed bag in Australia as well, with salary cap and the way, especially since COVID, the way budgets have gone. But look, I would say Championship lower half championship, higher League One, definitely without any shadow of a doubt. And some teams more edging towards the championship with the money they spend and the quality they have of international players down through the years. You look at Melbourne City, the kind of players and calibre they have, the amount of Socceroos they have, the good foreign players that come in, and just the intensity. You're talking about the intensity of the young Wanderers and young Mariners and Sydney FC a while ago. You add that now to first team quality and experience of how to play men's football into that high-end press. It's tough. A-League was tough, and you throw in a bit of heat in Adelaide and Perth, and the summer in New South Wales, it gets a bit tougher as well. So I love my time in the A-League. I'm a big advocate of it as a standard of football, and I think Australia, if it can get its act together and everybody starts getting on the same page, whether it's the FFA, APL, all the TV networks, all the divisions, there's something here.
Yes.
There's
I mean, I'd love
that.
that's part of what we talk about all the time. Me and Chaz started this podcast. We're going to be here for the foreseeable future. Our jobs are in football. We play football, coach football. We would love nothing more. We just need everyone on the same page. There's too many silos of what's happening.
Correct. Everybody knows better than everybody else. Everybody's got their own committee. Everybody's got their own. Everybody's got their own football specific area. We know better than them. No, we're going to do it our way. The old NSL, that was rubbish. The A-League is the way to go. A-League, NSL, vice versa. No, it's much better now than we done. No. This second division is brilliant. It's a step in the right direction, but everywhere people getting on the same page and listening to each other. Honestly, the amount of quality football players that are going overseas, that are playing for the Socceroos. You think about a year ago, Geraint Quall was about that much away from scoring a goal against the eventual World Cup winners. The round before the quarterfinals of the World Cup. The Matildas semi-final, filling every stadium here in Australia for the Women's World Cup. Honestly, and some of the A-League games in the last couple of years, the crowds are going down. No, the TV viewership is up, which is a huge positive. But the quality here, the quality of players coming through, the likes of Iran Kunda, like these, you pay to watch these people. If I wasn't commentating on the game, I would pay to watch some of the quality that's coming through.
Well, you've seen Nectarios went to Sunderland and Hibs as well.
Right. Very good player. Very good. And he's equipped himself very well at two. There's high expectations at both those clubs. I didn't go into that earlier on, but Hibs, you're expected to win. Sunderland, there are 40,000 people at every game, by the way. So good on him. He's coming from Mariners, where, as I said, they're smallest club, smallest budget, but by God, they punch above their weight. What they've done as well this year.
This year is a joke, man.
Honestly, brilliant. I mean, they've won three trophies. Unbelievable. So consistent. On paper, we talked about how good Sydney Olympic look on paper. If you looked at Mariners on paper at the start of the year, you probably would say, maybe top 6. But you did, there's something inside that team. There's a drive. They obviously, in the last few years, the coaching, and with their budget on a shoestring as well, the smell of an oily rag. It's a brilliant story, and they're winning in Asia, they're winning in Australia, they're fit, they're strong, and they've got a great culture. They're ticking every box.
Because so obviously you came here, that was your first club, the Mariners?
Mariners, I went to Mariners initially, and it was not the Mariners that it is now. It was a Mariners well and truly in transition, struggling for results, and there was myself, Nick Montgomery, Josh Rose, and Liam Reddy for a short spell would have been the experienced players, and the rest it was like the young players thrown to the wolves.
Wow.
Playing at a good level.
In your first season, club's top goal scorer? Goal of the season?
Should have scored a lot more.
8-game ban?
I had an 8-game ban, I actually didn't get sent off. I
get a yellow?
I got a yellow card, and it was rectified to an 8-game ban after, So I got elbowed off the ball by a guy called Manny Muscat. He got me a beauty of an elbow, and I've retaliated when he's come back and said something, because he knew he was after getting me, and he came back and said something to me, and I've lost my professional cool, and I fucking loafed him one, and I've got suspended 8 games, which was harsh considering prior to that my disciplinary record was pretty alright. Even when I was at the FFA meetings and that, and they're going through sendings off and yellow cards in my career, it wasn't anything untoward. I'm competitive, I'm aggressive, that's part of my game. But that was probably out of character for me to react like that. But it's one of those things. 8-game ban was harsh for somebody first offence. You know, I pled guilty. I'm not going to say. But 8 games, and that was the start of a kind of this kind of perception of me of something that I'm not. No, don't get me wrong. I'm aggressive. You're playing against me. You're going to have, especially in those days when I'm, wanting to prove something. You're going to have a game. It's going to be physical. I'm going to run you. I'm going to use my body. I'm not the biggest guy, but I'll be using every inch of it against you. But I got the perception, because I didn't smile much when I played either, of being nasty, which I have a nasty streak in me, but it's not what I'm all about.
Yeah, fair. Time for Jets. 19 goals, 45 appearances at Central Coast.
Yeah.
And then you went to the Jets in 2017.
Yeah.
20 goals in 33 games.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah, and we had a good time. We got to the grand final. Actually, talking about injury, I had a bad injury at the Jets. I would have had I should be their top scorer by a country mile, their all-time top scorer, but I think I'm second. Couple of goals. I should be.
You're second all-time goal.
Yeah, but they're not. Just not been around very long. But I should have been the top goal scorer by a country mile. I got injured my first year there, and I kept trying to come back too early. I had a grade 1 groin, came back too early. Grade 2 groin, came back, and I literally ruptured the whole thing off the bone. So I was coming back towards the back end of the season then, and I feel like that was the team where the service that I liked was coming. It was coming from Nabu on one side, Petradas on the other, Ronald Vargas, who's a great Venezuelan player, brilliant, one of the best players I played with when he was in his prime. I was just getting the service I wanted, but unfortunately I couldn't stay in the park that year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then after there, you went Brisbane Roar.
Yeah.
Small stint.
Short spell at Brisbane Roar. I went. Robbie Fowler became the manager. I went up there.
How was he as a gaffer?
Yeah, but obviously he was new to it as well. And it's all about the people that you bring in. Brought some good players in, the likes of Jay O'Shea. Yep. Terrific player, still a great friend of mine. Tommy Aldridge.
Cracking striker.
Yeah, he's a
goal scorer.
Very, very clever player as well. Just very clever on the ball. Macaulay Gillespie, left-footed centre half, who's playing for Charlton now. And Tommy Aldridge they got from, I think it was Blackpool he came from. Solid British players within some good Aussie players as well at the time. But a bit of a frustration. I thought we could have, looking back on it, I would say fell out with Robbie at the end. We were seeing things differently. I want to play with a bit more freedom. I want to play my own game. Yeah. And he wanted me to play a certain style of football, and we kind of clashed a little bit on that. And it kind of was the end of my time there, and the opportunity to go back to Jets came up, and I took it. If I have a little bit of frustration, I thought we could have probably won, or at least got to a grand final that year. He brought Scott McDonald in and Corey Brown. I think that was Scott McDonald came in and played as a number 10, and he would have changed the game for me. I was having frustrations with Robbie about wanting service in the box, and I didn't want to be doing all my best work in the opposition's half.
Yeah, of course.
He's really strong, firm in his beliefs of being structured and hard to play against, and I understand that. And I was kind of looking at it from a goal scoring point of view. I want to be in there hurting the opposition, scoring goals, and we got Jay's playing as a number 6 and that. But Scott McDonald coming in playing as a number 10 would have freed me up so much. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But going back to Jets is was my club. I was at the buying a house there. My family life is there now still. So I don't regret that at all.
Is that how you support in the league?
Well, Jets, I don't support anyone. I'm neutral. I need to get paid for it. But I've got very fond memories of my time at the Jets. I made some great friends. I live in the area now. I'm a real advocate for bringing young players from that region. I think it's an untapped region. I think there's so much quality kids that fall off at 16, 17 years of age without really testing the professional world of football. Too much talent. So that's what we're trying to fix there now. And Jets is a great club. Glad to see them taking over. Now, finally, it's good for them. It's good for the A-League, and I just hope they start pushing more and more local products in, like the likes of we've seen with Archie Goodwin, Angus Thurgate, and Lucas Marjois. So,
class, mate.
Yeah.
Class. And then after your return to Jets?
Yeah.
Olympic?
Olympic, yeah.
How did that come about?
So I was 36, and obviously people maybe thought I was washed up. Finished it with A-League. I didn't think so. I still had an ambition to at least play for one more year. I think I would have liked to play for one. I think I had this burning ambition to score more goals. And last year at Jets, we were struggling. We were in kind of administration, receivership. We didn't sign any players. I knew it was only going to get better, but I didn't get a chance to see that. So yeah, Damon Hanlon, Laurie McKenna, a guy called Nick Nicholas was in the meeting as well. Nick Nicholas said to Laurie, Nick Nicholas was kind of heading up the women's football department at the time. He said to Laurie McKenna, he said, your mate Roy, him and Damon Hanlon should have a sit down. You know, Damon, who is the president of Sydney Olympic, they'd get on well, they'd have a lot in common. So I sat down with Damon and we got on like a house on fire. I loved his passion for the game. He was telling me about becoming a fan of Sydney Olympic, going to watch them play in the 80s. He was telling me about, you know, Tom and Peter Katalis. He's talking to me about these players, and the stadiums used to be full in the NSL, and I'm talking, and who do you own the club with, Damon? And he's like, no, I put the money in, I keep the club going. So he's putting his money where his mouth. Like, I'm passionate about football, but I ain't putting my good money after bad. That man is, you know, he loves it. He loves. He's there last night. He's singing the song after we beat Marconi. He loves it. So yeah, I was meant to come in for a year, help him turn the page with the football club. You know, they're going in the right direction. They want to professionalise things. They want good noises coming out of the club. They want to win the competition, which we did. But the eye was on this national second division that was on the horizon and moving in the right direction with that. And I didn't expect to be playing for Olympic 2 years later. You know, I was one of those. I was going for a year, enjoy it, help Damon with his ambition and his project of Sydney Olympic, who I knew back in the day was one of the big clubs in the NSL. But lovely club, great people. There's a real heart to the club. You know, there's something about I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the people there, from whether it's the kit man, the people who work in the office. It's a real family knit club, and again, the NPL doesn't get the support, maybe the fan base that it maybe should for some of the good football that is played. But I've enjoyed it. Sometimes it's a harder mental task to get yourself up to play in front of, you know, 10 man and his dog, you know, at the ground than it is to play at Suncorp in front of 25,000 people, right? You know, so it's been a great challenge for me, but it's extended my career. I don't have to train every day. I can recover for sessions, I can recover for games, and hopefully I've helped, you know, set the right example for the younger players, that when they go into the national second division next year, and it is a younger squad, they'll be ready to stand alone and be the main men and drive the club forward to where it should be, and that's back at the top level of Australian football. And again, Marconi's another one. Went to their ground last night. Again, they're 2 AstroTurf pitches at the
good
back.
setup in it.
Stadium, perfect boutique stadium. They got the club next door. Food, drink, fans can go in there. They make money from the pokies and all that. Honestly, never mind your promotion, relegation. Promotion alone in a few years' time, I'd love to see likes of Sydney Olympic, obviously, Marconi's, South Melbourne, people that have their stuff together, stepping up into the A-League, and let's mix the old with the new. Let's make 20 teams up the top level, you know, before you ever talk about relegation. So so as I said, going off on a tangent there, I've enjoyed the NPL. It's a complete different challenge to what I've had before, but it's been really good learning for me.
So question, right? You said obviously this is your last year playing, right?
Playing for Sydney Olympic, yeah.
But so you're captain. You're playing 90 minutes every week. Just going from 100 to nothing. Like, do you not see yourself being like potentially a bit part player coach? Or?
No, I don't think they need that. I don't think they need my shadow lurking around the place. I think they need people to stand on their own 2 feet now. You know. Yeah, and I don't think. Also, financially, I think the club need to spread their budget around in the right way. If you've got players coming out of these A-League academies and they're going to charge, there's going to be obviously a minimum wage in that league. Spread that around. Get as many good ones that you can push through, and maybe have a better end value. There's the sell-on value to young players coming through to do well. There ain't no sell-on value with me, by the way. I'm a free agent at best, right? But you know that's the right way to do it. I think that's the best way to do it. You can young kids are coachable. You're able to teach them about professionalism, looking after their body right, recovering well, and when they're all tight knit, like we have now. But you know, like myself stepping away and then signing a couple of players to tweak it. That's the right way of doing it. But look, I'm busy. As I said to you, I have got the academy with myself, Daniel McBreen, Taylor Regan and Ben McNamara. We've got Newcastle Elite Football up there. We've got about 150 kids at good level as well.
What age group do you work with?
We work with under 7s, 8s, all the way up to 16, 17.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a big spectrum, but we're doing a lot of tournaments, 7-a-side, 8-a-side tournaments, which is very competitive down here.
Yep.
And the likes of Football Lab, Football Culture, Football Tech. Nick Rizzo. It's no joke. So we're trying to bring these kids to the next level and open their eyes to it. And it's some tough learnings, but every time we lose a game, it's learning. It's not,
course,
you know, it's you know, you win or you learn, and the learnings are: can we pass the ball better? Can we move better as a team? What do we do wrong in that tournament that we can get better next time around? So, yeah, I'm passionate about that, about helping kids get better, and I love the commentary stuff and the punditry stuff. I do enjoy that. I do enjoy watching football, speaking about football. So I'll be busy with that, and look, you know, I won't struggle for things to do. There'll be some changes in my life. I've got a 3rd child on the way.
When is it due?
July. Nice. So another girl. Yeah, thank you. You too, mate. 3rd in July. So yeah. So my wife needs to see me more. I live in Newcastle, so being down in Sydney as well is probably not fair on her. Yeah. You know, so there's a lot of things.
Yeah, fair. That's good, mate. Like just you've obviously got A-League. Commentating and all the rest of it. What network are you with?
Last year, Channel 10 and Paramount Plus, and I'm you know, they gave me plenty, like Jeff Bullock and Mark Perry, who does the roster, and they gave me plenty of opportunity. I've done 20 odd games last year, similar the year before, and it fits in with my other schedule as well. Terrific, and I love, you know, I learn something all the time. I watch the people have been doing a long time.
Yeah.
Not
different skill set, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a different skill set. Obviously, as you know well, having an accent as well. So you have to kind of, you know, when you're getting your points across, they have to be clear and concise. And I'm not afraid to have an opinion. I don't care if someone is.
That's football, but I know.
Yeah, if someone is bad and they're not performing to the levels they should be, I'm happy to say that. Equally, if someone is good, like the Mariners were very good last year, pass it back all around, you know. So I enjoy that. I've got a real passion for that. I hope there's more of that for me, and that's the future for me. But yeah, football and family, mate, the two most important F's for me in my whole life.
No, that's similar to Chaz and I. That's just sounds interesting, just from your standpoint. I've been A-League. You've got to obviously play the A-League, commentating in A-League. You've got the NPL, you're playing in NPL, you've got the connection, you're across it, you know the players, you know the system, and then now you're at the academy level, so right through that whole thing. As an Irishman, it's class, like you're in that, cemented in the Australian football, and I think people like yourself, that's what we need to continue to help, to keep positivity in the game, because you're seeing it from youth level, you've got the insight from the professional level, and you've got a bit of insight obviously from the middle ground, the sort of NPL level. I think more people need to be positive about, because I just think if everyone just keeps complaining about it, nothing's going to happen anyway. Like, what use is it going to do, man?
Correct. I think there's the issue over here, obviously, the likes of the other codes, they try and keep football down. Football is the most participated game in this country for good reason. I know for a fact I want my kids to play football, not because I play it, not because I want them to be professionals. I want them to play because it's great socially. Yeah. It's great. You meet mates that you meet for life.
Yeah, you can go anywhere in the world, man, and you'll find a football team and you go meet people 100%.
And it's not all about winning games. Like, brilliant. Look, I played in good teams. We've lifted cups. I've played on teams. We've lost games, and you know we've been in relegation dogfights. But it's not about that. It's about, you know, meeting friends, enjoying the game, learning a skill set. And I think over here, as I said a while ago, there's a huge talent pool. Huge country, and there's a great product at the top level that needs to be appreciated. There's people like yourselves in NPL level not getting the financial rewards that the time and effort and work that's put into it to manage a job and go training 3 nights a week, play a game at the weekend, no holidays, no weddings, no friends' weddings, and your whole life's still right. There's sacrifice involved, and it's easy for the media that is owned by other codes to knock it down, but they're trying to knock it down because they know that it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
if we let them win, they will, right? But if we all work together, and I'm saying that from APL, FFA, whether it's people that are producing the games and putting the content out there, everybody works together for the betterment of football. I'm telling you, the future is bright in Australia because there's so much talent and quality and good people within the game here.
No, I agree, 100%, mate. Good message, mate. Quality. I was going to say something to you as you were talking. Yeah, fucking my head's went.
I talk too much.
You've
missed about 3 points halfway through. I'm just telling you.
No, it was good, mate. That's exactly where my head's at with it. I just feel it frustrates me when I think of everyone here loves football. Oh, everyone obviously in their environment is all in football, but everyone's so passionate about it because you get a lot of the European cultures involved in, especially NPL.
Yeah, exactly.
So everyone are so passionate about it, but there's just so much negativity about it, man, and it frustrates me. So I'm like, well, maybe because I work in it as well as my job in football, so I'm thinking, I'm going to be in it for long term.
Yeah.
It's only going to go up.
Yeah.
But only the way that'll work is if we all stay on the same page.
Yeah.
And that's the same. I was going to ask you about the B League. That wasn't my point. Don't know what my point was. But the B League was just insight because again you're across all those different aspects of it, and you're a bit older, so you've a bit more emotional intelligence and maturity to answer the question.
I don't know
but I said a bit more.
Tiny.
So B League, what's your take on the B League?
I think it's brilliant. I think it had to happen. I'm delighted it's happening with the foundation clubs, historical clubs that, as I said, about working together. A-League don't want them a part of their thing, potentially. The NSL clubs of the olden days don't associate, they don't watch A-League. There's a lot of this kind of talk goes on. Now, hopefully, as I said, this will put them back in a professional environment where the South Melbournes and the Sydney Olympics and the Marconis are where they should be. Now, 8 teams is probably a small number to start. I hope there's a team out of Adelaide City maybe, and a team out of Queensland as well. And just more opportunity for players and coaches and more pathways to get to the A-League, to get to the Socceroos, to get to the Matildas, because obviously this is going to happen, and it should happen from a women's perspective as well at some point. So, as I said, it needs to happen for a big country like this. It needs to have tiered system. As I said to you, there's not going to be relegation, just the way things are set up at the moment with TV deals and financially in the top level. But I don't see any reason if Marconi's and South Melbourne and Sydney Olympic and yada 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 show that financially that they're viable, that they're a growing club, that they're marketable, that in a couple of years that they show how good they are, as well as on the park as well. Why can't they step up to the A-League?
Yeah.
That's my
It's an interesting take, because I've never thought of it as potentially being a combined thing. Do you know what I mean? So when there's the A-League and the B-League, but the idea of trying to integrate it is something that's the first time I've heard, and it's quite interesting.
As I say, I think for me as well, and we've talked about this all the time, because there's so many unknowns, the opinions are it's without context. So people got opinions, that's a lot of shite. But you don't actually, nobody's been announced anything. We don't even know the details of what's happening yet. So it's hard to have a real true opinion on. But
then I also think that then if you're talking about everyone working together, right, I think that it has to be better at the top. It has to be communicated in some capacity what's going on and where it's going to be.
Marketed better.
100%.
Marketed better. Everything needs to it needs to be pushed more. From an A-League standpoint, same here, it needs to be pushed national second division, whether it's coming out of FFA. There needs to be clear messages. This is happening. It needs to be consistent as well. But financially, it's going to cost these clubs a fortune. That's the
100%. Because it's hard to be positive about something you don't know. And at the moment, I just feel that people don't know enough to really truly know what's going on.
So you can't have an opinion on it properly until we have the details of it. Especially the most common thing I get asked is what happens in the NPL space when this all moves around. I don't know. No, the FFA will have to come out and announce something, and then we can have a conversation. Good, but there's still going to be negative opinions. There's still going to be positive opinions and all the rest of it. But until it actually happens and gets rolled out, we don't know, man. But hopefully, for everyone's sake, it goes to plan, and hopefully for everyone's sake we get some information soon.
Exactly.
From the top as well, I do need to mention, like I said I would mention it, is obviously you've got your A licence here. I don't know if you've done any of the Football New South Wales courses, but the last 2 years, so I done my early coaching licences 5-6 years ago, and they weren't great, I'll be honest, they were not great. Right. It was like cereal box, like it felt like a first aid course. You turn up and like everyone's getting this licence. Right. So then I then done my FFA football conditioning licence. Yeah. So that was done in like 2016 with Craig Duncan, who was the head of Socceroos sports science at the top. Done that with him for like, I think it was like 10 days, full-time course, cost a fair bit of money. It was really, really good, left pretty hopeful. 3 or 4 years passed, get an email, a mail through, or Gaz, can you send me through the qualifications you've got to sit on the bench, sort of thing. FFA condition. Oh no, that's when it expires next year. I was like, no worries, I'll just renew it. Oh, we don't offer it anymore. I'm like, right, so what do you offer instead? Yeah. Nothing. Oh, right, so I've just spent $3,000 or something on this course, spent 14 days of my life doing this course that no longer exists. So I sort of got a wee bit disheartened with the whole Football New South Wales coaching stuff. So then last year I thought if I go back to it, I'll do my B licence, go back to that, and then went on the course. I was quite dreading it, but I went on it and it was actually really good. Like, they'd revamped it all, aligned more with UEFA. Right. Really enjoyed it. And done a coach. I presented at the coach conference for one of this football fitness stuff at the start of the end of last year. And then I did an online one. Now doing loads of free courses, basically online for CPD. But the standard stuff's actually really good. So you're talking about coming from the top. I do actually see a massive improvement from the coach education standpoint, and I think that's half the battle as well. If you're going to have a second tier, you need to make sure the right people are actually coaching in these jobs. It can't be jobs for the boys. I mean, we can't have people who, he's playing because he used to play centre midfield for Sydney United and he's just going to take his gig. That happens in football. Of course it does. And if you're talking about all this amazing pool of talent, they need to be in the right environment with the right people. Yeah. And it's going to come to coach education. So I think it's good. They've got I did say, I'd mentioned, they've got a coaching conference at the end of the year, November 23rd, 24th or 24th, 25th, Football New South Wales. But I think if you're a coach listening, there's a shit ton of free CPD stuff on the Football New South website. It's well worth doing. It's completely free. There's fitness stuff, goalkeeping stuff, physiotherapy stuff, obviously technical stuff, tactical stuff, youth, all over. Apparently I started talking to him, he said the goalkeeping one was one of the biggest uptakes I had.
Do you know what, that's because I said to, before you mentioned it to me, I said about this coaching development, because Neil Tate is the soccer, the Olyroos or whatever it is, the under 23s, he coaches their goalkeepers, and he's doing a block on that CPD thing, and that's why I was interested in going, just to see, because he marked my that way the people mark your assessments and then give you the feedback and stuff. So I was just curious to obviously go and see what he was doing.
So that's one coming. I'm pretty sure there's the next two online ones. I think one of them is actually, maybe that's interest for you with academy stuff. It's someone who's a specialist that works with FIFA or UEFA on 5 to 9 year olds, and then there's a woman who specialises in dealing with parents, which is a skill set in itself. So it's an online boxing class. So she's something they brought in this expert, because again, that's, as a youth coach, it's a huge component of the job. Do you know what I mean? Because the parents play a huge role in the development of naturally, so you have to keep everyone on board, and the communication process has to be there. But that's all free. That's all part of the CPD stuff. It's brilliant. As I say, it's really good. I think across the board, outside of just players, the coaching side is massive. I think again that's that standard rising, coming from the top all the way down. But I just had to mention that because I said I would. Okay, let's moving on to the final part of the podcast. Is just the weekend games, Roy. So I don't know if you've.
Let me see.
We just have a quick prediction of just who won, loss or draw with each game. Okay. And then you keep a tally and we'll see who's the top. Last week, it was postponed last week?
2 games were postponed last week. You get 6, Peter get 6 and I get 5. I'm struggling, man.
Oh, you're struggling, aye.
So I'll just basically go through the games. You tell me who you think's going to win.
Okay. Or you can say draw if you want.
Wolves at home to Blacktown.
Oh, I'm going to go Blacktown City.
I'm going Wolves.
I'm going Wolves, yeah.
Apia at home to Marconi.
Apia.
Draw.
Oh, St George versus St George.
Holy Derby.
Who's at home? Which?
So St George that play at Irlington are at home.
Okay.
St George Saints.
I reckon
City.
I reckon Saint. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Romero. Be Romero winner.
I'm going the other St George Saints. So
I go City, I think.
There you go, St George City, Romero as well.
Yeah.
Central Coast Mariners at home to Sydney FC. It's a big game, that.
Well, Mariners have been on a good run.
Mariners, Plum Park, tough place to go.
Sydney FC have also won the last 2 games, eh?
And a win, yeah. So.
I'm going Sydney FC. There you go, Mariners.
I'll go draw.
Draw. Berries at home to Northern Tigers, NPL 2 now.
Northern Tigers.
Tigers.
Me too. Hakoah at home to Spartans.
Hakoah.
Yeah.
Bonnyrigg at home to Inter Lions.
Draw.
Draw. I'm going Inter Lions.
Interlions.
SD Raiders at home to Dully.
SD Raiders.
I think SD Raiders as well.
I'm struggling here. I don't know the form guide. The more we go down the list,
Here we go, mate. Right, we'll give you
I'm only joking. I know SD Raiders lost last night. I know that one.
Dully are fourth bottom, I think, just now. Struggling. They lost 3-1 to Mount Druitt at the weekend.
CCU are struggling for a goalkeeper.
CCU. So you're going Dully, SD Raiders?
SD Raiders.
SD. Yep. Central Coast at home to Mounties.
Mounties are. Oh, how is Central Coast United in the league?
Maybe 5th or 6th.
I'll go Mounties. Mounties are decent.
Mounties are
Back
good.
alley.
Central Coast United.
You need to see that, eh?
Yeah, just in case.
Your neighbours.
Just in case I get beat up next time I'm down there.
Hurstville versus Granville Rage.
Hurstville is that's your mate Connor, isn't
Connor's
it?
there, aye.
I'll go. Zagreb was in a decent bit of a run. I'll go Hurstville.
Yeah, Hurstville as well.
Me too.
And then your pals, the Jets.
Jets at home.
You'd fancy the Jets, wouldn't you? They're up near the
Jets.
top of the
I fancy
table.
Jets, aye.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a draw, personally.
Aye. Well, you've got notoriously shite results.
I
mate,
know I
so-
do, mate. So just play the opposite, man. You've got Jets, and you're going Jets, Gary.
Aye.
In the West, Hawks at home to Parramatta.
In the West.
Is Parramatta, is that where Tarek Elrich plays?
Yeah, but they're struggling.
Are they?
Oh, they've been great.
Alright, 3-0 Parramatta.
And that's us, mate. Thank you very much
Thanks
for
for
coming
your
on,
time,
mate.
boys.
It's been brilliant.
Been a pleasure. Keep up the good work.
You too, mate.
Nice
Thanks
to
very much.
see you.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.